Welcome back, guys. Today we're going to be reacting to his story, and by the way, my table, it can light up two colors. You can switch the colors. It can go up and down. You can hang things on it. You can charge it. But we're going to be reacting to his story. Which one should I watch first? I honestly don't know. Okay, let's just go to...
I'd been dating Ruby for 2 years when she dropped a bomb on me. I am going to Miami with the girls for spring break. You're not invited. I could practically see the red flags, but I kept a straight face. Girls only? Yeah, we need girl time. I gave her a smile and nodded. Okay, have fun. She kissed my cheek, surprised I was not making it a whole
When? I don't know what to say.
Really? You're the best. The first day of spring break, she posted a bunch of photos of her on the beach on Instagram. That is when her mom, Diana...
She's not even wearing a top. No, look at this photo. She's not even wearing a top.
Her on the beach on Instagram. That is when her mom, Diana, called. Ben, honey, I need to show you something. Can you come over? 20 minutes later, I was sitting at Diana's kitchen island. She slid her phone across the counter with shaking hands, and on the screen was Ruby's secret Instagram. The most recent photo.
Oh, this is way too sus.
I walked up to my Uber and got inside, but then we stopped at the first red light, and the door immediately swung open. A woman I'd never seen dropped into the seat beside me and screamed at the driver, "Admit you're kidnapping this child." My blood froze because I'd driven hundreds of times and this has never happened. My driver shook his head, but she pulled back her jacket and flashed a pistol. "I know you're kidnapping him. Now drive us to the police station." I gripped my seat in horror because I always checked the car's plates before getting in and knew this man was my driver. My hands shook as I showed her my Uber app. "He's my driver, ma'am. This is his Toyota." But she wouldn't even look at it and just pulled me into her chest while we drove. "It's okay, honey. I'm gonna get you out of this." I saw the driver's hands shake and he muttered something to himself as we turned off course. I remember putting my phone between my legs and texting 911, but she yanked it from my hands as I was about to hit send. I screamed, "What are you doing?" But she chucked it out the window. I watched my last hope hit the pavement. She said, "You can buy a new phone. You can't buy a new life." Then pressed her pistol into the driver's hip and screamed at him, "To the station, now." We pulled into the police station, and I almost cried with relief. A cop saw the woman's gun and instantly drew his own firearm at her. He wrenched my door open and I fell out, talking faster than I ever had. "She's insane. She thinks my Uber driver is kidnapping me." The driver immediately got out with his hands up. "Officer, this woman is crazy." The cop told him, "Open your trip, now." The driver swiped his phone and held it out, and I saw the ride right there with my name on it. But then the cop looked closer. He zoomed in on his screen. "Wait, that driver doesn't look like you." My eyes went wide in shock, and when I looked closer, I realized the driver's nose didn't match his picture. The cop instantly tackled him into the pavement, and that's when we heard it. A faint grunt coming from the trunk. Another cop popped the trunk, and my knees buckled because a man was tied up inside, out cold, but breathing. His nose matched perfectly to the picture on the app. I realized this was the real driver. The woman fell to her knees, crying, pointing at him. I knew I recognized him. This man kidnapped my son 2 years ago, pretending to be his Uber. I hugged her, and as I watched him getting cuffed, I realized I was one red light from being like her son. I walked up to my Uber and I spun the bottle to play the kissing game and watched it land on my sister. Now I didn't want to kiss my sister, so I invoked the rule we'd established and gave my unlocked phone to the person on my right. Brian started scrolling. My 9-year-old daughter handed a man a crayon map of our neighborhood garage sale and said, "Start at our driveway if you want the good stuff." I was still taping a $2 sign to an old toaster when she pointed him away from Mrs. Kovalik's.
His very old videos, because I remember I watched them and they were really good. Oh, yes.
I was playing with my pet snake when my friend leaned over and stared at it with narrow eyes. "Is it true that anacondas can choke people out?" I told him yes, and he instantly leaned back in his chair and put his arms over his head. "I don't think it could choke me out." I laughed, but Wesley immediately sat up. "I'm serious. Let your anaconda try choke me. If it succeeds, I'll give you $200. If not, you give me the $200. Deal?" I thought about whether I wanted to risk my friend's life for $200. Then I shook his hand. "Deal." I carefully placed Piper around his neck. Wesley smirked. "You have to be pretty weak for something with no arms to choke you out, and I've been hitting the gym. This anaconda won't do a thing to me." Piper settled around his trachea, and I told Wesley, "Tap out once it gets too much," but he waved his hand.
His friend's hair look Great.
Dismissively, what kind of loser needs a safe word for this? I'm ready whenever. Bring it on. I looked at him one more time, then gave Piper the signal. She started barely squeezing Wesley's neck, but his eyes instantly went wide. That's a lot, but I think I can hold it, he said, trying to look confident. I told him Piper wasn't even trying, and suddenly she squeezed harder. Wesley instantly gasped and tried to pull her off because his face had started turning purple. I asked, do you want to...
How does the snake know that he wants his friend to choke?
But he shook his head, wheezing no, and pulling harder. I got this. Piper's muscles weren't even tense, yet Wesley was now shaking in his chair, his veins popping as he pulled hard as he could. His face was blue, and Piper just kept squeezing. I was about to call her off anyway, when Wesley began tapping out. Get her off me, he wheezed. I snapped my fingers, and Piper instantly released, returning back to me. Wesley collapsed off the chair, holding his throat on the floor and gasping for air. He didn't have the air in his lungs to protest as I took my $200. I was playing with my pet snake when my
friend goes, and he'd be like, $200.
Me and my best friend poked his dad's round belly during... I sat alone in the dark and cold interrogation room, my handcuffs bruised...
Oh my gosh, that thing they just saw is so gross. I don't know which video to do, honestly, guys. Oh. I guess we are gonna watch this one.
I was outside looking for my cat when I saw my neighbor stepping on her tail and laughing. My cat was screaming. I ran over and shoved him off. What is wrong with you? Why were you stepping on her tail? He got close to my face. Because I wanted to. What are you gonna do?
Oh, why are you leaving your cat far away from you? Like, this is him and this is a cat. Like, should be close by.
Do about it. I wanted to punch him because my cat Fluff is my best friend. She's friendly with everyone, so we let her roam outside, and he stomped on her for a laugh.
That's why they let her roam out.
To knock his teeth out of his mouth, but I grabbed my cat and walked away because I thought it wouldn't happen again. Then the next day, I brought Fluff in my room and closed my door to trap her. I wasn't taking any chances, but when I went to the bathroom, Fluff slipped out the front door and went outside. I didn't even notice until I heard her screech from outside. My balls hit the floor. I ran out and the neighbor was on my yard, standing on Fluff's tail even harder than before. He pressed harder, smiling at her pain. She was crying. I shoved him off and picked her up. Her tail was limp and bent sideways. He looked at me smiling. Next time I'll step harder. I was shaking with anger. I saw his wife watching from her balcony and screamed, "Your husband came into my yard and stepped on my cat's tail again." She rolled her eyes. "It's just a tail. Relax," and looked away. I took Fluff to the vet because her tail wasn't moving anymore. The vet looked at me and said the tail was too damaged. They cut off her tail. I was comforting my cat and knew exactly what I needed to do to make sure he never did this again. The next morning, I laced up my black Timberlands and went outside, waiting for him to come out. Then I saw him walk onto my yard, look around, and go behind the bushes looking for my cat. He saw me and smirked. "Where's your dumb cat? I want to stomp on it again." I walked up to him. He didn't even see it coming. I lifted my Timberland so high and stomped on his foot as hard as I could. He started screaming, punch. Teeth flew out his mouth after my fist connected with his jaw. I kept my foot pressed on his so he wouldn't fall. "What are you gonna do about this?" His wife heard him scream and came running out. "What happened? What did you do to my husband?" I looked at her and smiled. "It's just a couple teeth. Relax. I took something from him the same way he did to my cat." I was outside looking for my cat when I saw the substitute hadn't even finished writing her name before a paper ball bounced off her head, and the whole class...
I actually don't know what to react to. Oh, this one.
My grandma called me at 6 in the morning to tell me she'd broken TikTok. She'd had the app for a week, only to watch my videos and tap the little heart, and she didn't even know how to post. So when she said her video had 300,000 views, I told her she was reading it wrong. She wasn't. She'd leaned her phone against a bowl on the counter, hit record by accident, and filmed 40 seconds.
Every single video and every single phone is an iPhone 17.
For self-fighting a batch of pierogi dough. Stick to the counter one more time and I'll throw you in the damn trash, she told it. The comments lost their minds. A grandma who cusses at her food is the content I needed, one wrote. And by that afternoon, the video had a she told it. The comments lost their minds.
A grandma who cusses at her food is the content I needed. Fighting with the dough reply. thank you so much. Do try.
A grandma who cusses at her
So crisp and mouth-watering.
food is the content I needed, one wrote. And by that afternoon, the video had a million views. I had no idea she was just getting warmed up. The next morning, a box from a knife company nobody ordered showed up on her porch, and her phone buzzed across the counter until she flipped it face down. She slid it over to me. You do the computer part. So I did. A flower brand emailed first, and they wanted her bad, but the message asked her to please keep the language family friendly. I read it to her out loud. Family friendly, she said. I've been cussing since before their grandparents were born. Then she held out her hand. Give me that phone. She typed her reply with 2 fingers and hit send. You can kiss my butt. I don't tone down for nobody. Then she filmed the next video, dropped a whole pierogi on the floor, and said something I can't repeat. It hit 2 million by morning. The worse her mouth got, the bigger she got. 6 weeks in, the flower brand came back, and this time the contract was $10,000 for 3 videos. I read every line out loud at her kitchen table. The last one said she had to maintain her authentic voice, including her natural language. I looked up at her. They're paying you to curse now. She didn't even blink. Took them long enough. So she signed it, looked dead into the camera for her first paid video, held up a bag of their flour, and said, "This is the only brand with the balls to let me talk like this." It's pinned to the top of her page. She still calls me at 6 in the morning, but now it's to ask if she's allowed to say the really bad ones on camera yet. I haven't told her no once. My grandma called. I was paying for ramen at the convenience store when I felt
I'm only watching their shorts. What is this?
I was backing my mom's new silver BMW out of a parking spot when I heard a long, dragging crunch against the back door. I jumped out of the car and saw a huge scratch on the back passenger door. Oh crap, I'm so freaking screwed. My mom is going to murder me. I was driving home when I saw 2 cars crash at an intersection. I immediately pulled over and ran. When I picked my daughter up from, I saw the car's reverse light. A little girl ran out of a store but tripped on a stick and started falling face first to. I saw the car's reverse light. When I picked my daughter up from school, she pointed. I saw the car's a little.
Okay, wait.
I saw the car's reverse lights turn. A little girl ran out of a store but tripped on a stick and started falling.
Daughter, but not in like the other video. I can't find it. What in the world is? Okay, I'm gonna close my eyes and whichever one I touch first wins. Okay.
My bank called and said someone just withdrew $100,000 from my account in Las Vegas, but I was in Pennsylvania. That was everything. 10 years of savings, emergency fund, down payment for a house, all of it gone in one night. I told them to freeze the account and rushed to the bank with numbing gel still in my mouth from the dentist. The bank pulled up the transaction details, multiple withdrawals from a casino, ATM starting at 1 a.m., 20,000, then 30, then 50. Whoever did this knew exactly how much was in there, and they had my debit card and PIN. That's impossible, I said. My card is right here, except when I reached for my wallet. It wasn't. My wife Rose called while I was still processing. Where's your dad? His phone's going straight to voicemail. I froze. My father was 72 and had been showing memory.
Not that good. I don't really like this. But yeah, by the way, do you guys like my room? I cleaned it. Bye guys. Bet.